Instagram's good too.
Awesome.
How's
Someday.
it going?
Oh. Hey guys. Someday we will in StreamYard will like play nice and integrate with Instagram, so I can like talk to people there. That would be wonderful.
That will be good.
Yeah.
One of these days.
It's
Someday.
gonna come alongside the monsoon test. Those two things are gonna happen. God is gonna smile
Probably.
upon us. God is gonna smile upon us with those two things in one day.
Exactly.
Gonna be able to believe it when that happens.
Honestly.
I'm working dances. I'm working on my dances. I'm getting them together.
Yeah.
It's happening. So.
It's
We'll all
gotta
go
work
party.
one of these days.
We'll all go party with Randy in California at Pomona.
Oh boy.
Boxes of puppies.
What are you after?
Oh, I have cardboard boxes because I'm officially moving into the new house on the 9th. So I have cardboard boxes around, and I just yoked them across the room.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, as one does. Hey guys,
You got a
Silver
couple
Scale
other people
Exotics.
popping in.
Hi.
Yep.
Yeah. Black Rock Balls. Good to see ya. Snake River Pythons, Cold Fusion, Soda Balls. Good to see you guys. And I love seeing returning names every week. It makes me so happy. It's awesome.
And they're talking about monsoon and IG. Someone say monsoon, smiley face. Yeah.
Sorry.
Someday.
Reptiles.
That's totally my fault.
No, it's fine.
Reptiles and Research says, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Troy
Hey,
from
Garden
Balls and
State
Strikes
Pythons.
is on.
Hey, Troy.
Garden State Pythons. Is there any relation to Garden State Tortoise at all? Just out of curiosity? Or is it just, or both y'all are in New Jersey?
Good question.
Yeah. Because I know Garden State Tortoise has gotten a lot of, a lot of, no, just same state. Oh, okay, fair enough. No worries. On the bright side, at least it's good publicity to like share a name with them because they've gotten like a really I think it even like NPR posted a story about there was like a box turtle they rescued a while back. And like she had been kept on like a kitchen floor, like yoinked from the wild and then kept on a kitchen floor and fed cat food for like 50 years. And
I saw that.
Yeah.
With like the super overgrown bill and everything. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so bad.
I know. Yeah,
They
no.
did a great job. They did a great job though.
Yes, they did. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Fresh out of one meeting, waiting for the next one. Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Good luck with the meetings, Troy.
Yes.
RJEN Reptiles is on. Prophecy Exotic, Celtic Reptiles. We got lots more rolling in on Instagram.
The photos from last week.
Did you show those photos from last week? Tommy knows what one.
I thought that we showed Prophecy Exotic.
Why
I thought we
think
showed.
I know what they're talking about.
Is it this one by any chance? I know that.
Oh, that one.
This guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Likely that one. Likely that.
Oh.
I don't remember talking about that one, did we?
That's
we were talking about Stranger.
Stranger HRA Blackhead.
That's all.
Stranger HRA Blackhead GHI.
Is that one of yours, Tommy, or that's one you found?
No, it's actually Devin's.
Oh, awesome.
Devin Prophecy. Yeah, he produced that last year. He calls it the Nas for not a Suma.
Not a Suma.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's
because
cool.
Because it looks like a Suma, but it's not a Suma.
Yeah.
People are asking on IG if you're driving, Tommy. Are you parked or are you driving?
I'm parked and the background's just moving a lot because it's like the movies. I'm driving very carefully. I will be parked soon. Please do not worry about me or bash me for driving while I'm not even really looking at the phone. I have sunglasses on.
As long as you're not looking, that you're good.
She's ignoring us.
I'm listening, but not looking.
While talking.
I'm looking at the road. Yeah, exactly. I can talk. I mean, it is no different than being on a voice chat. So
yeah.
I will be stationary soon and looking at the phone. But right now I'm not looking at it other than to look at what photograph we were talking about.
They're just concerned for you, Tommy. Be safe.
That's okay. I'm being very safe. I'm the safest.
Saltarin Serpentines joined us. If I remember right, you're in Germany, aren't you, Saltarin?
Ooh.
I think we got Germany represented, if I remember right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I believe that is Germany. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, so we did get a question from somebody from Anthony Miller of Morrill Balls. They emailed us since he wasn't able to catch the stream today. He sent this last night, but he'll be watching later. So hi, Anthony, when you watch later. So his question was, I've seen some incredible gene stacked animals, 5 to 6 gene morphs, plus a visual recessive. How many genes is really possible to be visually expressed in a single animal? There must be some limit to genes being visually expressed, though at some point, maybe it becomes too muddled to identify. Just something I've been thinking about lately, and I haven't found anything in simple searches. So what's y'all's input?
So I'd say, Thomi, what is the most gene stacked animal that you've seen that you feel like every morph in that combo added to it? Nothing was, kind of wasted or not really seen.
I mean,
oh no, she froze.
in that,
Now she froze.
oh no, am I there?
Oh.
Okay, we heard I mean, and then it cut off.
No worries. I feel like that's kind of a stacked question, because I mean, if we're saying like how many is it possible to be expressed versus how many can we visually identify, those are different questions. I mean, visual identification.
I think asking the second.
You know, the second, like how many can we visually identify?
Yeah.
I don't know. I ID'd the animal that we just showed, but that was based off pairing.
Yeah.
And
fair.
I mean, that was just a black animal. So, I mean, but that was based off pairing. So I don't know. I think it really depends on the pairing. I would say probably 4 to 5.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I would say 4 to 5. I mean, and if we're adding in, like any kind of, if we can do 4 to 5 visually of our incomplete dominance, and then we add in the possibility of, say, like an albinism form or something else, then we could look at 6, right? Because that would be easy to identify on top of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although all the albinos, I have a harder time IDing. I have to like put them in an app and reverse their colors. That's how I ID them.
How funny. That's
that
interesting.
makes sense, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, I because when I look at it, I'm like, I think that it's this, but like the pattern is just, it's flipped, so it's difficult to see. So I just flip it in an app, and it makes it easier for me to ID them.
Makes sense. That's so cool.
Yeah, you'll have to do a post on that, show what it looks like and what the difference is.
Yeah, I could do that for sure, because I did that with my lavender clutch last year, because there was a possibility of like, I think 6 different genes. So my visual lavenders definitely threw me for a loop. So I could easily do a post on that clutch and like how that happened, because it had me scratching my head for a bit.
Yeah,
that's cool. Right. That's interesting.
Everybody will be happy to know I'm about to pull in and stop driving. So I'm super safe, everybody.
We don't want you to get in a wreck on live. That's for
Please
sure.
don't.
I mean, you would get a lot of views. I mean, everybody be like, so on the live, Thomi died, and everybody be like, oh my god, I have to see it.
Oh my god, we don't want your blood on our hands.
Yeah, don't want that.
No, I'm pulling in right now, so we're good. I mean, so yeah, I would say yeah, ideally 4 to 6, depending if we're talking about like, recessive genes that are easier to stack on top.
And then another thing to think about with that Morrill balls, I think, is like, if you're talking about visually, sure, maybe only 4, 5, or 6, something like that. But as a breeder, if you have it, eventually you get to where you have 10 or 15 or whatever. Obviously, your clutches, you'll be able to make a lot more variety in your clutches. So just because you can't actually see them all doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't be valuable for you as a breeder. Like, say 5-10 years down the road, maybe we have a dozen, incomplete dominants and 2 recessives or whatever, and you just have even more insane clutches, and obviously have to do a lot of testing to figure out what in the world they are.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you have like a 5 or 6 or even 7 gene female and you put her to something simple, you'll have a lot of diversity in your clutch, and then you're not going to have a lot of 7 gene combos likely come out of it.
Yep.
So I mean, you'd be able to ID most of your clutch without problem, I would think.
Yeah.
Bingo babies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's on how dominant the genes are. Also, yeah,
For sure.
Like I feel like after once you start getting into like 6 or 7 different mutations in a single animal, at that point you end up with like an all black snake or an all white snake,
Right.
which we see a lot of. And sometimes you can, like you said, either like flipping the colors or using black light on the animal. Sometimes you can piece it out with pairing information, but it's hard. It depends on what the mutations are and how they interact with each other, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, that's it's a loaded question, but yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
within reason. I mean,
Yeah.
barring things that go black immediately, like if you have black pastel on both sides, then like you're looking at the possibility of like just 2 genes. Like if you have a super black pastel and something else, then like, okay,
Mhm.
well, it's gone.
Yep.
So yeah, it definitely depends on the genes, but
Yeah. Good
Yep.
question, though. And, yeah.
That's just another example where if you did get a super black pastel with other stuff as a breeder, it's still valuable because everything's gonna get black pastel, and then whatever else is there, you get to mix in. So it is kind of multiple questions in one. And as a breeder, it's kind of nice to have more colors and more color packed combos to be able to paint with. But what's actually going to be visually appealing to the people looking at them, it's got to be a little more simple to be able to see it all.
yeah.
Like balls and strikes pythons brings up here, like I think that's the boundary we haven't seen yet in the hobby. Unlocking the right combo that actually looks visually appealing with 8 to 10 genes is still being worked on. Yeah. Like I think Justin Kobilka came on our show to talk about, wasn't it like or was it, maybe it was 6 recessives?
It was homozygous for 6 things. So
homozygous for
some
6
of them,
things,
some of them were incomplete, some of them were recessive. But yeah, that was a pretty good looking snake.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was like a cryptic hypo, whatever ultramel, and then plus a couple super visual genes like Inchy, things like that would still be pretty easy to see. So you have to be selective in your pairing if that's your goal, for sure.
Yeah. Hasn't Nerd stacked some serious numbers? I wouldn't be surprised. They're one of the OGs as far as like founding different genes from back in the day, so it would make sense.
I don't know how to ID half of their genes, honestly. Like I look at this stuff and I'm like, they're like multivoltus, and I'm like, I've never heard of these and I can't see anything. So
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that they made some very gene stack stuff, but I don't think that they've really put a lot of effort into figuring out what they are.
What they actually do, yeah. That's really difficult. Yeah,
just keep mixing crazy ones with crazy ones, and they made some really cool looking stuff.
They have, but like I don't know what it does, so I'm like afraid to use it because I don't know how to ID it.
Yeah, and hard to remake something.
Oh, a super form of a gene in a snake be considered 2 genes? No. Tommy, do you want to explain?
No, you can go ahead and explain.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all good. You were, I feel like you may be more used to explaining this than I am at this point, but yeah, no, I think it's still considered 1 gene. It's just it would be 2 different alleles, like, or 2 phenotypes, I guess. So, visually what you're seeing, if it's assuming, usually with a super form, it's like we have the incomplete dominant that is 1 gene. Like, someone give me a good example. In ball python world. Enchy, yeah. You see an Enchy, you're like, oh yeah, that's an Enchy. And then a super Enchy would be, that's the super form where you have 2 alleles of it.
Yeah.
And that would be, it looks different. That's the super form, but it is just 1 gene or just 1 mutation.
Yeah, because when you breed it doesn't create 2 different genes from it. You just get it in everything. So like, there's no 2 options from it. You just get everything's Inchy. So
yeah,
it's still 1.
Oh, we mentioned here Xander. Nope. Yes. Xander's asking about monsoon. We were talking about this earlier too. So, or at least we were before the stream. I don't think we started talking about it at the beginning.
I think that Ben now cannot hear the word monsoon anymore. He's heard the word monsoon so many times. It's like he probably goes to sleep at night counting his monsoons.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nightmare. The green tree python sex determination test and the monsoon test. I can't even. I purposely have never tried to add up how much money we've spent on developing those two because it would be crushing. We've spent a lot of money on those.
Tens of thousands.
Cannot do either of them still to the point where we can make them publicly available. So
yeah. We all want them, but you guys want them more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've spent lots and lots of hours till 3, 4, 5 in the morning trying to dig something out that would work, and can't get it to work any better than the 98% that we've got right now. And we've got lots of other people working on it too, and that's the one we're all talking to each other, and still can't get it.
Yeah, no, we're in progress as always. I feel like at this point you could just like stuff a pillow with the green tree sheds and maybe like stuff a pillowcase with it, sleep on it at night.
There you go. Yeah, that'll get you there.
Eat, sleep.
Oh, I could stuff a lot of pillowcases.
Same.
A bed of them. It looks like somebody's talking about they sent a bunch of sheds 2 weeks ago. Randy sent you some sheds.
Yeah, Randy Allen sent a bunch of sheds in 2 weeks ago. Was wondering if maybe there was a delay or they got lost in the mail.
Were these paid, or if they were for research? Like, what species or morphs do they have?
Yeah.
And did you send them to Texas or did you send them to Virginia?
Hi, Leviathan.
If you can tell me, I can answer it. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna be on, but I'm gonna mute and take off my camera for 1 second. I'll be
all good. And Spheric Reptile says the midweek show is what got me to send in more sheds. Great show. Yay!
Good.
Thank you. All right. But yeah, Randy just let us know. Ball python paid, sent to Texas. Oh, okay.
Were they for panels? If they were for panels, that makes sense. But if they were for anything else, paid stuff, then yeah, it should tell you whether you're in clutch or morph market. It should tell you if the sheds were received, and if they're not received yet, then yeah, that means they did not see them in Texas. But it'll update either your clutch or morph market, whichever one you went through. It will update for you as soon as we have them in our hands. We'll Allie or Haley, but most of the time Allie will check them in every single day. So it would show you in your account if we had received.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they haven't been received yet, that's a bad sign that they might be floating somewhere.
No.
Before COVID, that almost never happened. I would say maybe 1 in like 500 or 1,000. But since COVID, it's more like 1 or 2, sometimes 3 out of 100 will get delayed or just straight up lost. Sometimes they get returned. Sometimes it's because there's not enough postage on there. And I've had it both ways. Sometimes they'll keep it at the post office and put a note with it, and then I have to take it to the front and pay the additional postage. But sometimes I don't even know that it got sent, but then the other person will say, oh, it got sent back to me because of not enough postage, and they have to put a little more postage on it and send it again. But sometimes they're just straight up lost. We've had them, it'll be like 2 months later, and just all of a sudden they'll get delivered, and we have no idea where they were for those 2 months. But yeah, that stuff just almost never happened before COVID.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that bad. Oh, and Spheric Reptiles was wondering, would it be faster to create a multi-panel individual package or send in the big test for turnaround time?
Say that again.
Would it be faster to create a multi-panel individual package? So I guess you like running multiple panels on one animal.
So the only things right now that will take the like 3 to 5 weeks are the full panel. So the 45 morph test, that'll take, and I literally just turned that in this morning. It's on the machine right now running for all the panels. Thank you all of you that ordered panels. We had lots of panels go onto this run. So yeah, the panel run will take 3 to 5 weeks. Also cinnamon, I have not been able to get that to work as a fast test. So right now, hopefully I can fix that. But right now, panels and cinnamon, those take 3 to 5 weeks. Everything else, like if you pick 5 or 6, or if there's 8 you want and you want it done quickly, then you would want to do it where you pick your own. I think you can do that through Morph Market or Clutch. If you do that and you pick your 8 or whatever, those will be done in 24 to 48 hours after we get them in Texas. So the turnaround's real fast with that. But yeah, the 45 morph test, we have to batch those in order to keep the cost down. So that will take you a little bit of time to get those results back. Hopefully that answered it.
Yeah.
We have a question on Instagram too. BBM Reptile says, will you be offering a genetic guarantee badge like in Clutch? Do you mean on our website or on Morph Market? I'm assuming you mean on Morph Market, but I know we've talked about it for Morph Market, and we've definitely talked about it. So many of you already know our website. We're updating it, and we'll be ready to have that go live, and we'll have a whole bunch of new things on there, new capabilities and information and stuff like that. But yeah, that may be something that we'll do through our website also. But yeah, right now I think Clutch is the only one doing it, and I would imagine Morph Market and through our website directly that will become a thing hopefully before too long.
Yeah. I know that so far, like Clutch has there's a badge, there's kind of like a little check mark system that is put in automatically when we test something through Clutch. And then I know that they're working on auto-populating Clutch animals' Morph Market profiles with a certificate.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been implemented yet. So it's like it goes through Clutch to Morph Market, from what I understand, or at least it's going that way. It hasn't been implemented yet, but they're working on it. So we did an episode on that, I think 3 weeks ago, something like that. It was the last time we had Justin Kobilka on the normal show. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Patricia Cooper. Let's see. Hey, I think you sent me some photos for the live show. Are those animals that you're having tested? And if so, do you have the order ID for them? Because I would love to show them. I need to put them.
Those are the ones that we discussed earlier that we're still waiting on test results for the retest. So I think you have to skip it this time. It's me and Ben we're talking about. Waffles, give me a damn toy.
You're good.
I can picture both a bird and a monkey from those sounds.
Oh my God, he's so cute. That's a good crab right there.
Nice.
He does that every time I come home. He has a fit. That's why I was like, I need to mute because he was going to bark and squeak that toy for 20 minutes.
Awesome.
Patricia, at least one of your panels, I don't know if there was more than one, but I do remember seeing your name is in the one that's running on the machine right now. So those results will be, I hope, updated sometime over the weekend, or like Monday, hopefully Monday, Tuesday at the latest. So
exciting.
So I know at least one of yours for, I don't know if you had more than one for a panel, but they may both be in there. I just remember I for sure saw your name, so I know there's at least one.
Sweet. And Giant Scott was asking, rumors are that we're working on shed testing for sex determination for monitor lizards. Is that true?
Yes, definitely. I've been collecting sheds for like 3 years of known sex for different species. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, or people that would be, I still need more known sex sheds. So anyone that's keeping and breeding and already has, a pair or two or whatever you've got, those sheds are very valuable for me right now, so that we can try to get that. And it's going to take time. Like the ball python stuff took, a couple of years to really get fired up and going. The monitors, we'd like to do Heloderma and blue tongue skinks and, several other green trees like we just talked about a few minutes ago. But yeah, if you or people have monitors and their sex, we would love to get more of those. And Kayla can pop up the email or the PO box to send those to.
Yes. Yeah, here's where you'll want to send the research sheds.
Yeah, there's a PO box at that link.
Mm-hmm. I also, here, I'm going to put in the, it's so close to our face. Well, here's, I wanted to show, like, I put it on my list, right? Okay, this was a terrible idea.
That was a bad idea.
Here's what we're going to do. Here, look at this. There we go. I put it on my list. I am going to make a post about it. So it's like a, like I have my got sheds thing. I'm going to make one for monitor lizards. It specify like known sex monitor lizards, and
also
morphs too. Why not?
Giants, if you're any Facebook groups that are like specialty for monitor keepers, I found that that's a really good place to post like or repost those types of things, and because it seems like there's more people that see them than if you put it in, like you share it in your stories or something of that nature, because you have like a captive audience there of specialty people that are all wanting these monitor shed tests. So some of them might not even be aware that it's a possibility yet. So getting that word out is going to be really important, because like the ball python people already know that we have this as an option, but as we start getting into new species, these specialty groups are really where we're going to need you guys to help and share the word.
Yeah, definitely. I do need to get into monitor groups more. I know I'm in like I've been like hunting down corn snake groups and hognose groups and all of those. Blood pythons too.
If Giants is already doing the monitor thing, and they're looking for this to happen, definitely, the more you share, the faster it happens. So getting those sheds is step one.
Awesome. Let's see. Royal X or Xander. I assume that's Xander over there. Said we sent in a test for Professor X, our Barnhart Black Pastel Banana Leopard Clown. He has an extra gene in there, and I know Sean's working on it. Ooh.
Are you able to? That one's on this panel run that's going right now also.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's exciting. Sweet.
There's a bunch of good stuff in this one. Some really cool animals people are hatching out. Hopefully we'll have to keep, Kayla, you have to keep putting your email address up each episode and just say, hey, y'all that are getting cool stuff tested, email pictures to Kayla and we'll put them up on the show.
Right there.
For sure.
Let's see.
Big part of the fun.
Yeah. I think the more we have these multiple combo pairings, and that we are running into more people letting things slip through, because we were talking about earlier, you might not see special anymore if you have 5 other genes in it, because special is definitely on its own you can see it, but like once you mix it into things, it's harder to see. So then 2 or 3 snakes down, people are like, wait, what's this single gene animal, because I wasn't expecting anything that looked like this. So definitely it's cool to see people finding their Easter eggs.
Yes, I love panel tests just for that.
Oh, absolutely.
I had a female champagne het hypo and had no idea until I bred her and got some obvious gargoyle looking things. So, so she's a het red axanthic.
Exactly, because het red doesn't really change champagne that much. Like
no idea.
Really hiding there. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but some of them, like I've sent Thomi some pictures of them. Actually, you got one of them.
One.
Yeah, one of her.
Oh,
I think the one you have.
Hold on, I'll send it to you.
I think the one that you have, yours is either a son of hers or a grandson of hers. I can't remember which.
Is that Charm? Like a Charm and her babies?
No, this is
look at him.
Yeah, looking good.
That looks like a Cisco baby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
say. He is a Cisco baby.
Cisco babies.
He's got the blue cheese head.
I love like a little baby cheese.
Yeah,
a little moldy head. I love him.
Yes.
Yeah, when people come over that are not snake people, I always ask them if they want to see my moldy cheese snake. That's the one I show them.
Yeah, he's gonna be a daddy.
Yeah, that's right. You sent me a pairing.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Cool.
Yep. He's doing it finally.
Yay. Oh, and Giant Scott says, awesome. That's a huge breakthrough for monitor breeders and collectors, because you can't sex them like snakes.
Exactly.
It's a lot more older. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, get those people sitting in those sheds, especially like since it's newer. Get them knowing that it's even a possibility. It would be great.
Yeah, spread the word. That's the name of the game. Right now, we're still collecting sheds, but the more sheds that come in, by the time I'm ready to hit it really hard, the faster I'll be successful. So if I have
Absolutely.
10 sheds versus 100 sheds, you know, when I'm ready to hit it hard, if I have 100, I'm much more likely to hit what I need than if I've only got, you know, a couple dozen or whatever. So
Yeah.
more the merrier.
Plus, if there's like a ton of interest in it, then, you know, maybe Sean, our custodian and money guy, because the money guy is what helps us keep us in the black.
He keeps us from going out of business.
Exactly. If he sees a lot of interest, then he is more likely to be like, "Oh, yeah, we should maybe prioritize that." So if you can, you know, more interest, it's good. That way, instead of everything paying for instead of just ball pythons paying for everything, other things can start to pay for them and ball pythons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully over time, as we have, you know, maybe we have 60 to 80 tests for ball pythons, and hopefully we'll have 60 to 80 across all the other species. And really, the ball pythons are only half of it. You know, the rest is all the other species that we keep. So if that's the case, they'll both help us design more in the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
From Xander, what do you guys think about breeding female ball pythons at 1,200 versus 1,500 grams?
It's nice. It's really nice if you want to push the edge for that. It's really nice to have an ultrasound. That kind of makes it a no-brainer. So I've been cheating for many years. I would just ultrasound and see what their follicles look like. As far as like from a health standpoint, with ball pythons, it's much less of a concern in my experience and from the people I know than like some colubrid species. If you breed them, your female's really young, even if they will breed and will get pregnant, it's a lot more likely that they'll get egg bound. But it's not really, I haven't really seen that be an issue. I've kind of, you know, pushed the edge a little bit. I've been breeding them since 2003. So I'm less likely to push the edge these last 3 or 4 years. But yeah, I haven't really seen that be an issue. I think that if you try with a ball python female that's kind of on the edge and she's not ready, she's just not going to go. And if she is, she'll go and she'll be fine. What have you seen, Thomi, as you've talked to people and in your experience?
In my experience, I feel like pairing them at 1,200 is not that much of a big deal because, like, if it's their first pairing, once they start building, they're going to start hammering food. So if you're ready, they feed them, they're going to hit that 1,500 gram mark before they lay, definitely.
Yeah.
And conversely, I would say that it depends on the animal also. Like, is this a 1,200 gram animal that's just now a year old that may not be ready? Because some people will feed the crap out of the animal just to get it to a certain weight. So an obese 1,200 gram 1-year-old female is not the same as a 1.5 to 2-year-old female that is 1,200 grams that's, you know, more lean and has a little more age on her. So I would say, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing, but it definitely, I would err on the side of a little bit of an older female versus trying to get it up to a certain weight, because sexual maturity is not necessarily bound to a weight. They don't know what weight is. So just like some smaller males, some people are like, oh, don't breed a smaller male. Well, I have some females that are 5 years old that are 1,500 grams, and that's as big as they're going to get probably. They might hit 1,800 in the next 10 years, but I mean, they're not going to be huge females. So I think that, you know, definitely taking into account the age of the animal is important.
And in the wild, they don't know how much they weigh or how they are.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So, their physiology knows what's happening more than we do. So I think that, you know, I just would point to erring on the side of, you know, making sure that it's not an older female that's underweight or a younger female that's obese. And so that, you know, there's a lot of vectors, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you've been keeping and breeding ball pythons for several years, like you just open the tub and you know immediately, like, okay, that female definitely can go. That female probably isn't going to go this year. She just hasn't fed well. Like they really for sure, especially if they laid, And then through that year, they have to have enough food intake to be able to get in. And so you'll get a pretty good feel for it just by looking at that. If you know what time of the year it is and you open that tub and look at that female, you know right away, okay, she has a chance. Okay, she definitely, I'm not going to put a male in there this year, and unless she just starts slamming food, you know.
Yeah. I had a girl that I was like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna pair her because she's eating a little slower and she's like cooling. So I'm like, she obviously wants to do something. And it was her first clutch, and I paired her once, and she's like, "Oh, I'm ovulating. Thank you. Bye." Like, and like laid eggs, and I'm like, "Okay,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah." I paired her once, and she was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Thank you very much." You know, like, and she was fine, and she recovered fine, and everything was fine. So.
Yeah, I've watched on ultrasound. Like we used to ultrasound once a month. I haven't these last few years with the DNA business. I haven't been doing it, but Kevin and I, we would ultrasound once a month, and some females, they're like, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then they're like 45.
Yeah, exactly. Like
sometimes they'll jump. It's crazy. Like all of a sudden, oh, she's going to go. Like, I'm glad we put at least one male with her by this point, because she's going to lay, or she's going to ovulate in the next couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have an ultrasound. I palpate, so, but I definitely can tell the difference for sure.
Yeah,
I do a lot of watching them.
Yeah, some will just slowly build, and then every once in a while, one will just pop, and you're just like, whoa.
Where'd that come from, girl?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting. I wish I could figure out, what the difference is, but to me, it seems random. Some female, it's not like the same female always pops like that. But yeah, they'll just blow up. It's crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Church's Pythons actually asked, at least on Instagram, we're over here waiting for more info on our funky little pinstripe. His shed ID is YQ86. So was that one, you said you knew the situation on that. Is that a panel?
Yeah, so Church's Pythons, that one is a test for sunset, and it's the first time we have one it's not making sense what we're seeing. So it kind of reminds me of what we got with Patricia's clown that tested het clown. So this is kind of the opposite. It doesn't look like a sunset, but it's testing homozygous. So what I'm doing, Church's Pythons, and it's going to take me a little time, I'm just moving my primers a little bit so I can see maybe there's something going on with where my primers sit. Maybe there's a mutation that makes it so in that one individual, the test is giving us a weird result. So I have to do a little bit of sequencing in your specific animal, and then see if I can make that so that we can get the correct result for that. I mean, obviously looking at it, it's not homozygous, but yeah, it's still coming, Church's Python. Sorry. Thanks for being patient with us. But that's, we've been running that one for, I think, 3 years. This summer will be, maybe it's 2 years this summer.
I think 2.
Yeah, it's 2 years this summer. We've been, because I remember I was at the beach analyzing when I found the sunset mutation. So yeah.
While you were looking at a sunset, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So
or maybe it was a sunrise.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
That's the only time the people that own the beach house gave us a negative review. They were crabby people, but
oh no.
I do have 4 kids, so we probably didn't treat it as delicately as they would have, but anyway, I got sunset there. So so yeah, I mean, we've run lots and lots, like on panels, thousands and thousands, and that's the first time we've gotten a result that doesn't make sense. And I believe that Church's Python sent a second shed. I don't know if we've already ran that or if we're still going to, but either way, I'm definitely going to sequence around and see if there's a reason why that's funky, but we'll figure it out. Those are the kind of behind the scenes, and it's, like I said, very rare. After thousands and thousands, now we get to a point where there's something funky, and we'll do our best to figure it out.
Have we seen pinstripe sunset yet?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess. Yeah, I just
that might be worth thinking about also, right? Because I mean, what if pinstripe just overwhelms sunset so much that it looks like a funky colored pinstripe, and then it actually is one?
Yeah,
I don't really know because I haven't followed the sunset project, but that might be worth looking into also.
Okay, looks like it has been done.
It has. Let's see it.
That's Regis Creations, Newport Richey, Florida.
Can you make the picture bigger?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay.
That's got pastel in it too, I would imagine.
Yeah, it looks like it.
No, it says just pin and sunset, and
Does it say what the pairing was?
Came from a sunset to a lemon blast het sunset.
Lemon blast is pastel.
It's got pastel.
Well, there you go.
It's got pastel, yeah. So that might change it up a little bit, because I mean, really, honestly, that if that's what it looks like with pastel, then there's a good chance that it might just look like a funky pinstripe and actually be a sunset, if that was a possibility with the pairing.
Ooh.
That's just a thought. I mean, because I mean, it's important to, you know, look at the possibility of what's in there. You know what I'm saying?
We did actually have that exact thing happen with a different sunset combo. I think it was a lesser sunset, but he purchased it as a lesser het sunset. And then he sent it in and it tested out homozygous, and you know, this was actually about the same time that Church's pythons sent theirs. So I was like, oh no, after all of these runs, somehow we're getting these two weird results. But the pictures from that I'm pretty sure it was lesser sunset. I sent those to Steven from Leviathan. He's like, oh yeah, 100%. That's a homozygous, you know, that's a visual sunset.
It just wasn't what the person was expecting.
Yeah. I thought that one was, looking at it, but the pinstripe one, it doesn't look like it to me. But like, yeah, that's a very good point. I'll have to. Do we know
what? Have we seen Churches yet?
I have.
Okay.
If you go to their Facebook, Kayla, if they have Facebook, I know they have Instagram, but it'd be hard for you to get to their Instagram probably. If you can go to their Instagram, they definitely posted pictures.
Just Churches pythons, all one word. It looks like on Instagram.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know fairly recently they posted something saying they're waiting for the result.
Is that what?
It was one that green thing
over there to the left.
Oh, over to the left.
Is that it? Was that it? Oh no, that's a lesser something.
I don't see it, but it did look like that same picture. It had that green background. Maybe they put it up as a story though.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't see the picture.
It's hard to see when it's that small too.
Yeah, that's true. These are just things they've been tagged in.
I haven't seen them in the comments, but
yeah. Maybe they're Audi 2000.
Oh, there we go. Bomb City. Thank you, Kenny. So a solid brown snake. So this one definitely looks just like a pinstripe.
Okay.
So thank you, Kenny. So it's like a champagne. Yeah. So I think it is just something funky with that individual that I'll hopefully be able to figure out, you know, why my primers aren't liking that one, but we'll see.
Fair enough. What? Oh, sorry. What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask what info were they looking for the Barnhart versus the black pastel?
Oh yeah. That's it. I guess.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're asking there, Royal.
Yeah. What is the question?
I know that we had. Oh, that's good. Champagne on a champagne, honestly. That's good. Yeah.
I like it.
Maybe he'll tell us what he was looking for the more information in a minute.
Unless it's like I know other, like some of the black pastels, the non-Barnhart black pastels, there was something weird that we were trying to figure out at some point.
Well, that was another line, so it wouldn't be black pastel versus Barnhart. They were looking for like a third line. So this is specific for known black pastels, I would imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely at least a third that none of us can test for yet, or at least no one's talked about it.
Yeah.
I guess they could have figured it out and just haven't said anything yet, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I have more data coming in. Thank you to all of you that have sent me black pastels. We've looked at parents and tested parents and figured out, like Brian from BC's balls. He has has some animals that definitely are very clearly black pastel but test negative, and there's like 4 or 5 other people that have sent stuff into me that we've already like tested, like going back and making sure like this is for sure a black pastel. And now I have that sequence back, and I'm just starting to be able to analyze some of that, but we're still waiting for more tools that are finishing up. I'm hoping this will be the week that I'll have all the new tools that I can work with. But yeah, I have a very good chance of figuring out that other black pastel line here in the next little bit, I hope.
Exciting. Prophecy Exotic, his name's Dave, right? Your name's Dave?
No, his name is Devin.
Devin. Oh, okay, sorry. Swap the words around. But anyway, so Devin's asking, is the red stripe we test for the one acting allelic with acid confusion?
As far as I have seen so far, all the red stripes have acted like they're, allelic. I mean, that I don't think they're actually allelic, but they're at least close enough that they're acting like a super. So I'm not aware of any red stripe clutches where it was like red stripe confusion or red stripe acid where they didn't travel together or act like a super. So that's a tough question for me to ask because it's kind of two different lines of testing. I haven't necessarily been able to run our red stripe test on the ones that produce the clutches. But any of you out there that had one of those clutches, maybe you'd be able to, like Prophecy, you have some, right? If you wanted to, especially if I already have some of your sheds, just either message me or whatever. I would happily run them and see if they're testing for, positive for the test we have right now.
Yeah.
That's what I've had this conversation with him a few times talking about it. I was like, if he's like, well, are they red stripe if they're testing different, and are they still going to act allelic? And I'm like, well, if they will create a super with one another, like a super red stripe, then yes, they're going to act the same. In theory, right? That's not saying every line, because we can't say that about any of these things, because we've ID'd all of these animals with our eyeballs, and we're finding out our eyeballs aren't as good at things as we thought they were, right? Or we wouldn't have 5 lines of black pastel and 3 lines of this and blah blah blah, So just because things look close enough, we said, oh, that's what we plugged them into that hole, and we're finding out we were wrong sometimes, and that's okay. That's science.
Yeah, sometimes the things we thought were 2 different things are just one, and sometimes the things we thought were just one are 2 different things.
Oh, we had a red stripe confusion het puzzle paired to a super banana sunset that made red stripe confusion. So that would mean that it didn't act as an allelic in that case.
Ooh, yeah. 2 red stripe confusion banana het sunset males.
Right, because the red stripe confusion was on one side only. So
so they should only get one or the other.
Yeah.
So that would be very interesting if we've run those. I don't know if that's Stephen or Courtney, but if we have those sheds, I would like to pay attention and see if that's the red stripe that tests positive or not. Like some of that detail that might help us figure out that puzzle. But that's the first time I've seen data saying otherwise.
Yeah.
Weird.
6 or 8 clutches that all of them that people have reported back. I mean, they all were acting like a super. So.
Oh.
I feel like the more we know, the less we know.
Never easy.
No.
Well, I mean, you can also have like what happened with the axanthics, where there's at least 3 different places, if not more, in the genome that are not compatible at all, but you get a similar look. And then there's also cryptic and puzzle and clown, where it seems like if there's some genetics for puzzle, then that kind of messes with your cryptic and clown, and then, kind of vice versa. So they're different parts of the genome, but when you have genetics for both, mutations in both those locations, they kind of mess with each other's appearance. So there could be something in a completely different spot that when you have one copy of that and one copy of what we've been calling our red stripe, it looks like a super red stripe, and you can get, animals, but that's actually a completely different location. That stuff's possible, but don't know yet.
Red stripe by far is one of the most misidentified things I've seen anyway, like visually misidentified. So many people have a hard time with it.
We did test those sheds already. We were looking for double heads, but there were also 2 girls that tested positive for red stripe, but don't look anything like it. Interesting.
Interesting.
From the same clutch.
That's from Leviathan, that same clutch that had the weird stuff happen.
Yeah. So I would love, if that's Steven or Courtney, either one, if you can text me like the like clutch or, you know, the animal IDs or whatever. I'd like to pay attention to those, dig into them. I didn't realize that was a red stripe confusion or a red stripe acid type of a clutch, but yeah, that could be very helpful in figuring this out.
Ooh, that's exciting. I love these streams. I love little things like that. Oh, and Xander came back. So to touch on his question, with the Barnhart versus Black Pastel, he's asking, is it pretty much the same thing or different gene, but allelic?
Yeah, it looks like it's like the blue-eyed Lucy complex, the yellow belly complex. This would be, you know, we'll eventually call our 8-ball complex. So yeah, the Barnhart Black Pastel and our kind of mainstream US Black Pastel, the 2 tests we can do, those look like they're in the same gene, but they're just different mutations in the same gene, just like Mojave and butter, or yellow belly and gravel. You know, they're mutations in the same gene. That's why it's unfortunate so many of us have that habit of saying, you know, this is a 4-gene animal or whatever. It'd be better if we said morph instead of gene. The 4 animal, that's better. And that's what some of what we were talking about earlier in this live is kind of confusing if you say gene. It's a little bit more clear if you say morph. But yeah, so it's 2 different morphs in the same gene.
Cool.
And they would definitely act like they're allelic, yes.
Yeah. He's asking because they have tested Barnhart animals, and people ask why it's not posted as just Black Pastel. I guess because
it's not just Black Pastel.
Yeah.
Black Pastel.
It's different. Fair enough. It makes combos a little different.
It does. I feel like it's a higher quality animal overall, and has more color diversity, including the super is darker in my experience, but also sadly, I feel like people have also pointed it to having higher instances of kinking and problems in the super in clutches specifically. So if you want to make the super, it'd be better to put it to a different line of Black Pastel if you have that as a possibility.
To me, it also seems like both the oranges and the pattern in like the single, you know, the heterozygous for Barnhart. I like the pattern better, and I like the oranges better.
Yeah, it's definitely more colorful for sure.
Yeah.
So I'd say Royal X, either of those people don't know what they're talking about, or they're trying to get a better deal. Could be either.
Yeah, or both.
He's on the other side of the screen, like, yeah, validation. Let's go.
Link him to this video.
Dr. Ben said, and Tommy said.
Yeah, and we have a whole video with Tom Barnhart talking about that when we first made that test available. He's got a lot of cool history and information. It's definitely its own thing.
Yeah. Anna of Flat Mountain Pythons asks, so will you ever rerun the DG test that you noted to rerun in the study? So I guess this is back when we said, hey, everybody send us your DG stuff.
Free test, yeah.
Yeah. Way back in the day.
A free test in that project, and we labeled it as a retest for anything. Yeah, just mail that shed in again with the same email address and say, hey, this is part of that free thing. Actually, you can I have all of those still in my freezer. I have all 550. I think we ended up doing 551 or 500.
It was an amazing amount, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually have all of that DNA still stored. So if you just message either our Instagram or our Facebook, or send an email to Sean, but you just tell us what the number was. So you should have gotten a number like number 435 or whatever. And if there was missing information, I can run that for you. Once we figured out, that was the whole point, was we knew there was at least one other mutation that was part of it, and then we found out it was the mutation that caused it with that DGC, what became DGC. And then now we just don't even say that because we know it's just one, like pied and clown. So we kind of, I think a lot of people didn't really care so much about the other things, but we certainly would be happy to run the A, B, or C tests. We'd still have some come through each month that still want to be run for A or B or whatever. So we can very easily pull that and do that for you.
Yeah. Sounds good. I didn't realize that you still had all those in your freezer too.
Yeah, that was a big enough project. I figured, and it's been useful many times. I've had lots of people say, "Hey, can you rerun this, or can you look at this, or I already sent that shed in. Could you also test it for clown?" And so it's kind of saved people time. Be like, "Yeah, just pay for that test, and then you don't have to send it in because I've already got it here. I'll run it clown for you." Actually, Royal X, they were one of them that was like that. One that they sent in.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up running theirs for something else too. So
yeah. We were talking about Barnhart again. Noticing more ringers and paradoxing in the Barnhart. I think I've heard that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Barnhart's nice to have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we just hit our 2 o'clock mark. I think we were trying to do a hard out then. That way we don't keep running over like 20-30 minutes, which we can do very easily. Like, I still have stuff we can talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're going to call that there. Ben, do you want to hit any other questions?
Not that I can think of. I know Snake Morphs 1. It's Randy on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
He had a bunch of questions.
Yes.
So I'll get on the Instagram and answer them there, Randy, since we didn't get to him here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there we go. He actually just sent a message through on the IG chat. So
perfect.
Randy, I'll get on there and answer those. Time to talk about them today, but yeah, we're going to do a better job.
I want to hear those answers.
What's that?
Oh, Tommy said, put me in a group chat. I want to hear those answers.
I want to hear those answers.
Yeah.
I'll answer them publicly in that thread. So
yeah, they were good questions.
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
Oh, roger that.
But yeah, if we end up chatting about it off of the main thing, then we'll make sure we include you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining in. Tommy, as always, thank you for joining us. Good to another good stream.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, everybody send good vibes to my snake who is currently in the tank behind me. She is laying eggs, and I want her all fertile eggs. Let's go. They're supposed to be double heads. I'm excited. All right.
Nice.
Okay, this time for real. Let's get. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks everybody.
All right. Take care, guys.